Hello and welcome to ComSpark Magazine Interviews. I'm Dave Hammond with Parallel Technologies, and we're participating with ComSpark Magazine on a series of interviews. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Rich Wills from KMK Law. And so, Rich, thanks for taking time to meet with us today.
Sure, my pleasure, and I'm glad to be invited to be a part of these interview series.
So, Rich, do you see a difference in remote technology adoption based off of area of practice or age?
Yeah, there are some similarities from practice area to practice area in terms of practicing law, but there are some vast differences as well. So our labor and employment practice area has different needs and different tools than, for instance, our real estate group or our corporate group. The tools are different, the needs are different, the technology is different to a degree. So we really have to be able to present that technology in a remote environment that we're more and more working in. And it's been an interesting challenge. But we have a group of people that are willing to train, they're willing to work and adapt to different technologies, and are open-minded as in terms of how to really figure out these problems and work efficiently, especially when it's in a remote environment. Certainly cybersecurity has been an interesting part of our lives over the past 8 years or so. It's changed greatly. In an organization our size, we have to depend on our partners to be able to protect our clients' information and our law firm. Our problems are exactly the same as global law firms have. So we have to address those in the very same way. And the firm has recognized that and has supported that financially. And we feel like we have the best of class tools at our disposal to keep our information in our firm safe. So it's a constant worry, as it is for every person in my seat. But it's something that is part of our world today that we have to deal with. And we feel like we continue to improve on our cybersecurity footing and continue to improve every year through penetration testing, through adopting newer technology, to partnering with MSSPs and others to make sure that we keep our information safe.
Yeah, you're right. Nobody wants to be on the front page of the paper, for all the wrong reasons. So you're right. Security is huge, and everybody, is taking actions to avoid being on that front page.
Well, I like to say to people, I gladly share my paranoia around the firm. And when someone says, "Are you keeping us safe?" I say, "Are you?" Because it's really up to you. And it's the truth. But I think we've built a culture here where we have a very aware user base and it cuts across all generations. And we have people that are careful about what they do every day in their email, and they take our mandatory training. There are very few edicts in a law firm, and as you can imagine, with a partnership of there are 55 owners of our firm. And there are very few things that you get 100% participation in. But thankfully, I have the support of our leadership at the top that says everybody has to take it. And if you don't, you lose access to our systems. And we've made that happen for a couple of people. And that was a great learning experience for them and a great example for everyone. So I'm thankful to have that kind of support.
So, Rich, has the client work from home choice impacted IT? And, has the work from home impacted some of your security policies?
Well, it most certainly has impacted the way in which we work. For many months, courthouses were closed. There were no court proceedings. There were no depositions. And then people started adopting depositions done remotely over Zoom or whatever platform people have, and even court proceedings, as we all know, have really moved forward. Finally, we're back in the courtroom, but for a long time, and even today, depositions are done remotely, and that presents some interesting challenges just as in one practice area. How do you present exhibits? How do you monitor the transcription of the proceeding? How do you deal with technical problems? And do you have several people in one room on a Zoom call, or do you have people in different rooms on a Zoom call? And each presents its particular challenge. Most certainly our clients, they're starting to come back into our offices, which is great. It's been really over the past probably 9 months that we've had people back in the office visiting with their attorneys and meeting with their attorneys. But much of that conversation and communication has taken place remotely, even more so today than it ever would. There was a time when we had video conferencing equipment that was rarely used, and now we never use it, and people use this platform all the time to communicate. So that's been an interesting challenge, but a good one, I think. We've had to encourage our attorneys to be a little more conscious about security and about confidentiality, more importantly, especially when they're working from home. We have to coach them to bring documents back into the office, to dispose of them in our shredding bins. Don't throw them in your trash. Be careful about, don't have an Alexa in the workspace where you're working. Make sure that you're careful about who can hear your conversations, even family. So those are things that we need to keep reminding people about and keep top of mind, so that we can preserve that client attorney privilege and confidentiality. So that's been an interesting learning curve. We have an insurer that insures our lawyers in our firm against malpractice claims and those sorts of things. So we meet with them every year as a whole firm. All of the attorneys meet with our insurer, and we discuss a lot of different things about the change and about the work from home part that we need to be conscious of. They see many, many claims against their member law firms, and can talk about other claims against other firms and what could you have done to avoid those, and help us set policy using those guidelines. So it's been interesting. It's been very interesting.
Yeah, it's just from your answer there, I never would have thought about a dozen things that you mentioned there. Don't be in front of an Alexa. Bring your documents back for shredding here, not at home. So it's the things that you deal with on a day-to-day basis is just things that I take for granted and don't even really think about.
Well, it's just the nature of our industry and our business, and I'm thankfully involved in a lot of the conversations as it relates to ethics and as it relates to the proper practice of law. And people take it seriously here, and I'm glad to be a part of it, because I do think of things that they don't. And so that's where me and my team add value to the practice of law. It's been an interesting ride. I've learned a lot about the business of law and the practice of law, being a non-lawyer and just being involved in conversations with our attorneys in different situations that I've been involved in. It's been very interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Well, thanks for sharing that. Well, Rich, thanks for joining us today. Please visit comspark.tech for additional interviews.
Thanks, David. I really appreciate having the opportunity, and it's been a great conversation. And so thanks for having me.